Yo, what's up, everyone? My name is Dom, and we're talking about unusual options activity. All right, let's kick it off with the disclaimer. So, this video is for educational purposes only. The statements made in this programming are solely the opinion of the show and are not a specific inducement to make an investment. One must perform their own due diligence and realize that all investments carry risk. There's no guarantee of profit. All right, everyone. First one I want to bring up is Snap. Now, you can see here, I have a position in these October 8th 75 strike calls. Now, if you look at the open interest and the volume here, there was about, 24,000 contracts that traded here. These are extremely short term, extremely far out of the money. They were buying these things first thing in the morning. I got in a little bit too early. As you can see here, the stock opened at about 74, hit a low of about just under $70. I probably got in around $72. I thought that was a good entry point. Obviously, it wasn't because it went down like a few more dollars from where I bought it, and I almost had to cut the loss. That's how much, not how worried I was getting, but I was just trying to be prudent. But I held on. I'm not really trying to just buy something, in the morning and then end up taking a loss later that day because the trade just hasn't worked out. I try to stick with it. Unless the stock is really just tanking to the downside and it's like that was a really bad decision. But these short-term options, my kind of rule of thumb here is about 50% loss. I will usually try and cut it off. That's pretty tough here with some of these short-term options here because in this case, the stock pretty much tanked from where I bought it, and I had a 50% loss pretty quickly within an hour or two after buying these. But I decided to stick with it. I'm happy I did. The stock came up from about where I bought it today. As you can see here on the daily chart, this thing absolutely tanked. I probably bought it somewhere around here at about 71.5, 72. Thought I was getting a good deal. Obviously not, because it went down to just below 70. So I was considering selling the options here, but thank God I did it because it came back, rallied, and Snap was down in sympathy today with Facebook because there was some bad news about Facebook that came out. Anytime that Facebook has been down miserably, which it has been over the last few weeks, and Snap and Twitter, some of these other social media stocks get hit, I view that as a huge buying opportunity because whatever is Facebook's loss is Snap and Twitter's gain. Because advertisers go from Facebook to Snap and to Twitter because Facebook is ass, in my opinion. So, next one I want to bring up is Visa. Now, this was another stock down pretty badly today at one point. Its low on the day was about 220 and closed at about 224, opened at about 230. So, today was a pretty miserable day. A lot of stocks were down badly. A lot of stocks are down pretty bad from their highs. So, I am deploying a good amount of capital here, and quite honestly, I don't really have much cash. I just have some cash set aside that I'd be using for options. So I'm kind of fully invested at this point. I do have a little cash to deploy, but this is the time to be putting cash to work. I have like a 50, 60 year investment horizon. So I view this as a good buying opportunity. Even though we've had such a run this year in the S&P, up 25 or 30%, something like that. There's really no other alternative since interest rates are so low. I don't see interest rates spiking super high. So therefore, I think equities are going to stabilize here or go higher, test those new highs. Not sure if we're going to get through those new highs in the S&P though. Get through the old high. Now, in Visa, these November 5th calls here, I'm not in these ones yet. We do own some stock from the last unusual options activity we cited. Unusually, we did not trade it well, or not unusually. We did not trade it well, so we're still in the stock, and we're kind of riding it back down here, which always kind of sucks. That's why it's nice to get in the options, because at least for me, I'm more apt to take profit in an option over profit in a stock. And I actually end up trading better with options because I'm more apt to take the profit off the table and roll it up or at least wait for a pullback. So huge volume here, about 16,000 contracts traded here. These November 5th, 225 calls. These were out of the money when they were buying them. They're still a little bit out of the money. Pretty unusual here because this is a weekly option here. As you can see in the weekly options, They don't really trade a whole lot. There's barely any open interest. I just see 16,000 calls come in here and be traded. That is highly unusual. Now, Visa here, the stock seems to have some good support around this 200-day moving average. We came down, went below the 200-day, and we closed at the 200-day. That is really bullish in my opinion. It always depends on where you close. We closed above the 200-day. You can see here, we dipped a little bit below the 200-day here, but that was previously. We're always concerned on where the stock is going, not where it's been. But previous technical patterns here, it does seem to break, but it always seems to come back. And plus, Visa has been a laggard this year, relatively unchanged, I would say, on the year. Probably only up maybe 5% while the market's up 25% or so. So I like both these trades. I'm not in Visa calls yet. We're in the stock. So we will see what happens, everyone. Thanks to everyone who's been subscribing. I really appreciate everyone showing the love. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you got any questions. I'm here to help. Everybody who subscribes is here to help. We're all here to learn together. That's kind of the environment I'm trying to make here. So make sure to leave a like. So I know to keep making more videos like this. Thanks to everyone who's been supporting the channel. If you haven't subscribed, if you like the content, make sure to sub. I really appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.